Bitches! What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Thesis, aka Thesis himself, from Vaping with Thesis. That's right, God bless it. Now look, Hawkeye's mother truckers, now peep game, son. Bam! You know what this is? This is a treat. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, Thesis, what the fuck that's got to do with vaping, bitch? First and foremost, high-pitched viewer, that's a great question. I give you an A-. Bam! Now what that has to do with vaping is this. Bam! This is a treat. Now, what do I mean by that? A treat is something that is what? It's pretty seldom. You receive it every once in a while, once in a blue moon, every motherfucking yonder, you know what I'm saying? It's not an everyday kind of thing. So what I mean by that is the way that I feel about this entire kit, the way that I feel about this entire mod, my finger, long story short, 5/16 inch spade drill bit through the bone. It severed the bone, severed the nerve, and a whole bunch of arteries right there. Not arteries, whatever the fuck is there. Blended the bone, it went in this way, and then it went out this side. I had to pull it through in the garage. All these years of woodworking, not one accident. That's the first time and last time. Bam, son. If you don't, here's the video. Boom.
Hawkeye. So found out that it's a chip bone. It's a little bit sideways. The hole that was drilled is pretty good. It's pretty choppy. A little bit of meat there still sticking out, but we should be fine. I'm hoping. If they have to dig the fucking bone out, though, I'll be pissed. It's gonna hurt so bad. It's owie, motherfuckers. All is well. So I'm right in the middle of making my girl's bed. Beautiful, gorgeous, handmade, custom bed. It's going to be beautiful when it's finished. And I've got all the right equipment. I have no excuses. Fucking table saws, jig, the whole 9 fucking yards. And for whatever reason, instead of using the drill press, I figured it'd be an okay idea to go ahead and drill through that whilst holding on to it. Now, I've never done some stupid-ass shit like this before. In fact, while I was doing it, I was like, you know what? I should probably move my fucking hand so I don't drill through it. And, of course, about 10 seconds later, my finger was sitting just like that. And this bitch went in, hit the bone, and back out. And the way I had to get the drill bit back out was to reverse and do it the exact opposite direction.
This device has changed the way that I view mech mods. Bitches, now instead of me just talking about how amazing these clouds are, let me just go ahead and show you. Y'all seen that shit, mother truckers? Gorgeous. Before I get into it, I'm just gonna drop you the motherfucking coupon code right now. Reason being is because you need to pick this up. Bam. Fring. AThesis299. What does that mean, motherfuckers? You get this $50 kit for 29 bucks. Phenomenal. This is by far, in a way, the best mech mod I have ever owned. Now, I know many of you, especially the vets, the veteran vapors out there, are going to think that's a little goofy because it's a fucking Geek Vape and it's a $50 mod. Why is this the best unregulated mod I've ever owned? Not unregulated mod, but best tube mech mod I've ever owned. And it's period, plain and simple. It is this. First and foremost, it's a 25mm device, which is beautiful because back in the day, 99.9% of all mech mods were either one of two things. 18650, which means a 22 to 23mm, or it was a 26650. In that case, it was much larger than it needed to be. And anything else on the mod aside from a 26650 side RDA looked a little bit ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But this is a 25mm RDA. A, B, 100% copper. Look at this. I was blown away. I took the knife and I fucking scratched this paint off just because I was a little bit curious. Is it really copper or is it bullshit? Or is it, you know, stainless with a copper fucking spray on it? And obviously it is not. It is not a copper plate. It is a legitimate ass copper. Look at this. I scratched the black paint off right there. And of course you can see that copper shining through. I had no idea that this was copper underneath. They didn't have to spend that much money to fucking do that, but they did. That to me is hugely impressive. First of all, so we're going to first get into the device, just so if you're wondering, then we'll get into the tank. This tank, extremely impressive. It is an 18650 device, and as you can see right there, it's got this, I don't know if that's regular plastic, or if that's like a Teflon or a Delrin tube that is inside there to actually accommodate the extra few millimeters that it took to get it to be a 25 millimeter device. Bam, stick the 18650 in there, you screw it in. It's got these lovely little venting holes, which we'll get into in a sec. Beautiful flat top. You got the engravings right there. It says, what is that? Black. It's called the Black Ring. Is that what it's called? The Black Ring. Designed, manufactured by Geek Vape, of course. Absolutely sexy device. This is not a fake copper. I checked out the fucking threads. Granted, copper is a bit softer of a metal, but it's also a really good conductor comparative to stainless steel or aluminum or anything of the like. If the only time you can get better, conductivity is platinum or gold. But of course, I'm not going to fucking make that shit for 50 bucks. So, with that being said, a few things I want to address. Hands down, one of the smoothest buttons I have felt in a long time for a mod of this caliber and in this price range. For a $50 kit, this is beautiful. And of course, we are using magnets. Let me go ahead and show you the assembly or the anatomy of the button itself. Be careful when you take it apart, if you take it apart, because this will pop out. So you got your magnet A down there. So pop this out. This is your actual button itself. Oh shit. It's a pretty long throw. As you can see, your pin, gorgeous. These magnets are nothing to scoff at. They're extremely strong. That's your two magnets right there. Beautiful. This is something back in the day that a lot of mods weren't necessarily standard with. You'd have to actually buy another magnet kit for you to get this on your mech mod way back when. Oh my goodness, those are strong as mother liquor. Okay, so you want to make sure they're facing the opposite, the polar opposite. So bam, you throw one back on your button. Shit, of course. Bam. Throw one on the button. Beautiful. Make sure that it's the opposite on here. Yep, that's the opposite. 1, 2, 3. That's your little ring for the secondary. Let's make sure again that it's opposite. Yes, it is. Bam. Make sure your threads are facing downward. Gorgeous. And then you want to make sure that this is nice and tight. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can hear. That's about the smoothest threads I've ever felt on an unregulated tube mech mod of this price range. Bam. Now, for a lot of you guys that aren't into tube mods, that aren't into unregulated mech mods, this is something you have to learn. You can't skip over this shit, okay? I won't go into detail with it. You need to know what your specific amp limit is for your battery. Bam, that's a 40.6 peak amp right there, 21.5 amps on the CDR rating, and 2500 milliamp hour. I trust these batteries. I love these batteries by Home Tech. They are going to be coming out with some new batteries relatively shortly. I will be reviewing those. They need to be new. They cannot be old batteries, especially if you're drawing too many amps from your battery by using something that's ridiculously low. Like a 0.1, even a 0.2 can be too low for some batteries. Period, plain simple, you need to be safe. Learn Ohm's Law. It's Ohm's Law, not Ohm's suggestion. You can blow yourself up on accident. I've seen it fucking happen. That's not something to joke around with. That's why these venting holes exist, okay? Because some people have accidentally, especially back in the day with the earlier, shittier mods, they would put this in their pocket, their car, what have you, and their button would depress. If their button depresses, and of course there is no electronics, zero electronics in this device. It is literally just the battery with a fucking tube. That is it. And this here makes the connection or completes the connection. So you are the computer, you are the chip, you are supposed to be paying attention to this. If you don't, you do run the risk of your battery venting. You can severely hurt yourself or somebody else. With that being said, this can be a safe device so long as you use it correctly, you know what I'm saying? All right, so with that aside, this feels heavy in the hand. It feels beautiful. It is a small mod. It's not much bigger than an 18650. Now let's get into the actual tank itself. This is a similar setup to the RDTA by iJoy. Now, in my humble opinion, they're both good at what they do. However, if I had the choice to pick between the RDTA by iJoy or the RDTA by Geek Vape, I'm going to go ahead and say I want the Geek Vape. And that's just my humble opinion. That's just my personal opinion. It's a bit of a tighter draw. Of course, it is adjustable. And of course, you can pop this top off right here, remove that glass, and stick this on there so that way it turns into an RDA, just a dripper, without the tank reservoir. I've gotten 0 dry hits. No fucking leaking as long as this fucking cap is on. Oh, just sexy. Let's go ahead and see close up and in slow-mo. Okay, so as you can see, it is a side fill. It is kind of a bitch to fill when you use your wicks all the way down at the bottom, which of course you have to do. Otherwise, you will end up with some dry hits. On the RDTA, on any of these top feeding tanks, you will have to make sure that your cotton hits that bottom. It doesn't have to be laying on the bottom, but just so it barely fucking brushes the floor of this tank reservoir right there. Airflow is a bit tighter than something like the RDTA by iJoy. That's actually why I'm enjoying this. The density of the clouds and the density of the flavor with this tank is second to none. And I do not mean that in an exaggeratory way. I'm in love with this shit. Let me just go ahead and take a puff. Oh my damn. Using Malo Nation right here, as you can see. Black Label, High VG, 3 mil. Mercury. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous. Bam, son, you know what I'm saying? So as a kit, this is what you're gonna get. You pop this open, you get the tank and the RDA. You have to remember, this is not just a kit with the actual mod itself and a tank. You're getting a mod, you're getting a tank, and you're getting a dripper all in one. Now this is a prototype version, so this one is not the way you would do this. Normally you would just take this, just this portion off. I do like the fact that there's no flathead pin. There's no pin like there is on the RDTA by iJoy. And I'm not putting this down. I fucking love this tank. Like, this is, I'm not saying anything bad about this tank. But my preference is to be less steps involved in any type of switcheroo. Okay, bam. Take that out. And with this version, the Geek Vape, you do not have to do that. This part just comes off. Not the actual pin, not this little post. Give me a second. So just this part comes off. Not this. This is a prototype version. This one's kind of stuck together. So pretend that's not there. Bam, bam. So this is essentially what your dripper looks like. Oh my goodness. Look how sexy that fucking shit looks. Just amazingly beautiful, adorable, stout, kind of chubby, kind of chody-like. But it looks high-end as fuck. All right, so with that being said, as you can see from the top, there's the battery. Your post is there. Stickless right there. A little bit of adorableness. Let me just go ahead and take another puff or do. Absolutely gorgeous. I forgot to go through this. So you get that in the can. Of course, you get a tool. This is your standard Geek Vape hex tool. Several different color O-rings. Well, no, I'm not sure in the version that they'll actually be coming out with after the pre-order is going to have coils or not, but that would be really nice if they sent coils with it. It could have coils with it. I'm not 100% sure, though. Bam. Put that back. Put this back. Gorgeous. If I were to recommend one or the other, I can't, like, it's really difficult for me to decide. Because roughly, but by themselves, I think they're roughly the same price. What would that be? Like probably 30 bucks a piece. No. The tank is 25 bucks. The mod itself is 31. You buy the actual kit, it's 49 bucks. Or you use the coupon code ATHESIS299 to get the whole thing for 30 bucks. And that only lasts till December 15th. But if I were to suggest one or the other without the coupon code, so pretend it's December 16th, the day after, and the coupon code is no longer valid, and you got to pay $50 for the entire kit, is it worth it? Yes. But if you've already got the RDTA by iJoy, then get the mod. If you do not have the RDTA by iJoy, then I would highly suggest getting that fucking tank. This tank generates beautiful flavor, beautiful clouds. Look at that. Now, again, you do have to know what your resistance is and what your battery can handle. You need some higher end batteries. Anything by Home Tech, their batteries are phenomenal. LG's pretty damn good. Sony's, of course, are pretty damn good. There are a plethora of batteries out there meant specifically for mech mods. Bitches, now with that being said, in terms of a mech mod, this is the best one I own. So, like, I don't know what else to compare it to as the mod itself. In terms of the tank itself, this is my favorite top feed device, meaning my favorite tank where the coils are on top and the liquid's on the bottom. Now again, when I say this compared to the RDTA, I don't mean compared to the RDTA box. I mean compared to the RDTA right here. Again, this is an absolute phenomenal tank. This is nothing against the iJoy. The combo RDTA is a great fucking tank. Beautiful, non-removable chuff cap. It is adjustable airflow, but me personally, I like it wide open. It is not too airy, it's not too tight, it's just perfect. Bitches, now with that being said, let's get back to regular view. Absolutely gorgeous. Hawkeye's mother liquor. So my final summation on this bad mother trucker is this. It is not for everybody. A unregulated device isn't for everybody. Pure, plain, simple. Look, if you understand and you know Ohm's law, at least to a certain extent, you are able to use an unregulated device with a good battery, okay? You cannot build like super fucking low. When I mean super fucking low, it's kind of dependent on the battery and about the amperage that the resistance that the actual coil is taking from your battery at that time. But with that being said, a safe range to stay within is, I like to stay above a 0.25. Above a 0.25 is more comfortable for me. Anything below that, you're getting a little bit iffy. 0.15, semi-okay. It might be okay depending on the battery you have.
But I would highly suggest doing your research, understanding what Ohm's Law is. There's a ton of really good videos out there. That's why I'm not actually going in depth with it. This tank, this device, period, plain simple, the whole thing, the whole kit, is one of my go-to devices now. Like, I will be using this during cloud comps. Do I own higher airflow RDAs, meaning RDAs that have more airflow, therefore more clouds? Yes. But in terms of flavor, this is fucking phenomenal. This cannot get any better for me personally. I love that the reservoir is not too big, not too small. It says it's a 5 milliliter tank. You know what? Let me just make sure, because 5 milliliters seems quite a bit. And it may not be exactly 5 mils. Let me just see here. Yeah, it says 5 milliliters, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's depending on the amount of cotton that you can that you put in there. If you put the amount of cotton that I recommend, which is all the way to the bottom of the the floor of the actual deck itself, I'm gonna say that that's eating up at least 2 or 3 mils. So right there, you're dropping it down to like 3 mils. So is it a huge tank? No. Is it an all day long tank? No, probably not. Just because it's not that big. Bitch, it's okay, motherfucker. So again, the final summation of this device. For 30 bucks, it is a fucking steal. If I broke this tank, would I buy another one? Yes. If this mod somehow broke, I don't know how it would, but if it did, would I buy another one? Yes. For 30 bucks, you can't go wrong. Like, you just can't. For 25 bucks for the tank, again, you cannot go wrong. So on Thesis' patented finger of compatibility scale, I'm gonna give this bad bitch a solid 9 with a broken finger. Bam, son. 9 out of fucking 10. You can't get much better than that. Period, plain and simple, mother lickers. Bitches, now with that being said, I want to tell y'all that I appreciate y'all for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis. I'm out.